Hey, this is Noah. For the people of my typical audience, you may wonder, where have I been? Short answer, cat. Second answer, I've been working on stuff that requires a lot more time. So, please be patient. As a result of my brief absence, and what will likely end up being a continued absence, I have only been prioritizing stuff that is significant enough that I want to talk about it. And there's finally one. The Nintendo Direct happened. I actually got to watch it kind of live. There was a lot of things in it. I was happy to see F-Zero. All the people who are complaining about it, I hope you get your just desserts and you never get another F-Zero game on account of the fact that y'all are looking at this with disgust. You eat your food, and you like it. Besides, F-Zero 99 actually is kind of fire, not gonna lie. Anyway, one of the things that got announced was another Code Recollection. And the short of it is that I'm quite excited for this because this falls under a similar category to Famicom Detective Club. The category of Nintendo franchises that I would never have expected to get any attention. Not only did they get attention, but a remake. Ugh. For those who don't know, Another Code, or as it was known over here, is called Trace Memory, is a puzzle adventure game that was developed by a company called Sing, released by Nintendo on the Nintendo DS. It got a sequel called Another Code on the Wii. Never released over here. Sing also did another game called Hotel Dusk, puzzle adventure game on the DS, got a sequel. Didn't release over here. The sequel didn't release over here because the company unfortunately went bankrupt, went under. As a result of that company going bankrupt, I don't think anyone would have ever assumed that Nintendo would ever even attempt any kind of re-release for these games. Especially in the case of Hotel Dusk because it's got a unique control scheme, specific to the DS. But here we are. The odds defied. What's neat about this release is not only is it getting a physical release over here, not only is it a remake of the first game, it is a remake of both of them. Complete overhaul. And that's very cool. Very impressive. And if that's possible, I think it would be interesting if we got Hotel Dusk as well. Because going down this rabbit hole has been very interesting, because I found out through all of this attention that Trace Memory has gotten, Another Code rather, is that it actually is tied to Hotel Dusk. They share a universe and sometimes make reference to each other. To a point where some dedicated Sing fans would have liked to potentially see a game where it is a proper crossover, a sort of sequel to both franchises as a kind of maybe Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton sort of thing, featuring the protagonists from both games. A Twitter page just called Miles has been cataloging some important information, like the box art for the game, which is honestly amongst the most quality. That is fantastic. It's beautiful. Because it's one thing to just be surprised and happy that there's going to be a physical release for what I would assume to be a very niche release for Nintendo, but to see it actually get a box art that, to me, would warrant actually wanting to get a physical release, primo. They've given the protagonist a new outfit, which appears to bear a reference to Pinky Rabbit, a recurring mascot in the Another Code Hotel Dusk universe. The original illustrator of Another Code in Hotel Dusk, Taisuke Kanasaki, had been dreaming about bringing back Ashley and Kyle Hyde. He illustrated an adult version of Ashley, presumably what he had envisioned for the game, where Kyle Hyde and Ashley solved mysteries together. I'm glad to see the dream is no longer dead. Very awesome art. And I do wonder if, in that regard, if that means that the illustrator would actually have wanted that game to happen. Duly noted for what I'm going to say. He tweeted an image out of Ashley, February of 2022, which ended up becoming the basis for the cover art, so clearly he's still working on the game, or Nintendo stole it, either one. It would be kind of nice if we could see, first of all, if, as a result of this game being released, we could maybe see a similar treatment done for Hotel Dusk. I don't know what they would have to do to make it work within reason, within spec of how the original game was meant to be played. If you'd only have to be able to play handheld, whatever, go for it, man. But it would be really, really cool is if we could see that happen and then get one game that is exactly as that vision was. I got an article not too long ago that I was tempted to talk about where it was Nintendo Life, and they said the article was Trace Memory Hotel Dusk's writer new adventure game blows past crowdfunding goal. And I learned about this because Twitter kind of responded to this rather humorously, like, what is the title of that game? Dark Auction Hitler's Legacy. Uh-huh. So obviously this is not being made with Sing, as they are non-existent. But the fact that the writer is still doing stuff, maybe there exists opportunity to try to, to bring them in, to get them to be like, hey, let's make one last hurrah. Let's make one last primo game. Like with most of Nintendo's attempts to bring attention to smaller games that they're putting out here, whether it be like Advance Wars or Famicom Detective Club, I will probably be buying this game. But more than that, I actually bought Trace Memory a number of years ago. I never finished it. Didn't really have time. This will be a good opportunity for me to be able to try to play through it, and on top of that, I'll be able to play the sequel. Not because I couldn't, because my Wii got mods on it, because I'm not a scrub, but just because I never bothered to play it. So this will be a nice opportunity. What do you guys think of another Code Recollection? Or really any of the other things in the Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments below. This is another Code Recollection. See ya.